Oh man, lost my connection. Morning. I here doing my morning walk with Flash. So I'm not getting as many people in here as I used to get because I stopped doing these. But I'm gonna go ahead and talk about time wasters. All right. So today's title was the real story behind somebody wasting your time is you allowing them to waste your time. All right. So I want to get on this today because it's kind of coming up in a lot of DMs that I get when I put up my little relationship quotes. Or when you just watch statuses of people that you follow online. It's always about somebody wasting their time, man. I seen this lady. Yeah, I appreciate you, Jess. So I wanted to get into this, man, because I feel like it needs to be said from another perspective, man. I read this status this morning. It was kind of disturbing, especially with me doing the lovers brunches that I'm doing and the relationship talks that I'm doing. And by no means, those of you who have never heard me talk before, I'm not no Derek Jackson, nothing like that. I like to speak from a neutral standpoint because I feel like we all need love. Men and women need love. And I feel like society has set it up where it only looks like it's just women getting hurt, but men out here get hurt too. But with this particular topic, I seen this girl, she was about 30, 31. She posted, back in the day, dudes would let you down, but you still had a good time. She's like, now, y'all dudes are just disappointing. I like, first thing, you're not old enough to even know what it was to date a dude back in the day. That's the first thing. And then I know what she meant, what she was referencing to about guys wasting time. She feel like when women break up with men, they feel like, man, I just wasted my time. I wasted my months or my years or your weeks or however long you dated somebody. Listen, can't nobody waste your time that you don't allow to waste your time. If we just started looking at the signs in the beginning, most of the time, think about your last couple of little dates. The last people that you dated for like a period of time, minimum of a month or two. You knew probably 50% of the way if y'all was going the distance. Was it a waste of time? Or was it somebody that you didn't deal with at all? Right? Can't nobody waste your time you don't allow to waste your time. What happens is we meet these people and we have the red flags and we have the signs of things that we don't like about them or the way their communication is, or like I give an example with women. Sometimes I hear a lot of women complain, oh, he don't call, all he want to do is text. Well, he don't communicate the way you want to communicate. Let him go. Or you express how you want him to communicate with you. I tell people relationships are nothing but two training sessions on both sides. She's training you on how to treat her and you got to treat him on how to treat you. That's it. And some people take it personal when I say that. They be like, man, what you mean training? Ain't nobody mastered. Nope, that's exactly what a relationship is. You have to coach people on how to treat you. They have to understand what it takes to keep you happy, to keep you sane on most days. Is something still going to happen? Hell yeah. I hate to see couples talking about, we'll never argue. Yes, you do. You're going to argue about something. But if you communicate effectively on what it takes to get you through an argument, or what it takes to get you through a rough space, then you're coaching them on maybe we can have less of these arguments and we won't have this the next time. All right. Now with the time wasting, I see women they'll sometimes they'll let a dude linger for a year after they already don't like him no more. At that point, come on, boy. At that point, it's not his fault. It's not a dude's fault if you let him linger for a year after you don't like him no more. That's your fault. You're wasting your own time. He's chilling. If he's living his best life and he gets to come to you and get what he wants from you and this, that, and third. And I'm not saying that is correct, but I'm trying to show you how you can stop it. Because the narrative is, oh man, he's wasting time. He's leading me on. No, he's not. Nobody can do anything to you that you don't allow them to do. Like, I give you some different experiences of dates I've had. I have dated some girls back in my bachelor day. I dated some girls in my bachelor day that we could go on one date, they invite me right to the house. I've had that, right? And I've dated some girls in my bachelor day where they was like, nah, you need to meet me in public for a month. I've dated some girls where it's like, you're never coming to my house, I'll come to your house. Or I've dated some girls where like, I don't want to come to your house, but you can come to mine. I mean, they had their own set of standards. So while y'all be thinking out here, all y'all in unison, a lot of y'all think differently. So this narrative that dudes just out here wasting time, dudes, if they're with you, if they want to be with you just to come with you and cuddle or have sex or eat or whatever their purpose is with you at that point, that purpose of theirs can only go as far as you allow it to go. So we gotta get rid of this narrative. Somebody says, exactly. So we have to kill the narrative. I'm telling anybody how to love me, whether they've never loved you before, now they would know. Exactly. Nobody can assume what you need. And I know a lot of people like talk about, man, dude, people. Another thing that's misconstrued now. People think the relationship is just for the women. Why do you think there's so many miserable dudes out here? They get in relationships and it's not about them at all. Don't get to choose what they eat for dinner. Don't get to choose where they go on vacation. Don't get to choose where their money goes. Don't get to choose how they decorate the house. Don't get to choose how many nights a week they have sex. Don't get to choose what neighborhood they live in. Like the whole relationship be for her. So if that dude gets a woman that doesn't want to communicate with him, he's ultimately going to be miserable because he's not saying the things that he wants. Just like with a woman. What if a guy just told you everywhere to go? This is where we're going for date night. This is what we're eating for dinner. This is the school the kids going to go to. Like, it's compromise. It's give and take. It's both of y'all relationships. So both of y'all need to be happy. So both of y'all need to coach each other on how to become happy and stay happy. That's the only way you're going to get there. Or y'all going to fail. And I want to stop this, man. I'm going to write a script about it, man, about this time wasting thing. So many young women like, oh, man, he wasted all my years. And they be like 25 and 30. Like, y'all be young. Ain't nobody wasted your years. There's some women out here have been married for 25 years and got a divorce after the kids went to high school. And they still don't feel like they wasted time. They know that they got those kids. They're grateful for those children that they had. They put some time in. The problem is with our generation, which I'm saying, like me, I'm saying people under 40. The problem is with our generation. The problem with our generation is we give up so quickly. As soon as we get upset, we're done with the relationship. But we'll linger around. But we mentally check out. Think about it. Everybody on this live knows somebody. Come on, this way, boy. This way. Everybody on this live knows somebody that stayed in a relationship that they was ready to get out of. Everybody knows somebody that stayed in a relationship they was ready to get out of, but they was venting to everybody. Oh, he don't do this. Oh, she don't do that. Oh, he don't do this and she don't do that. I mean, just months and months, and you just get on the phone like, Now, while they're doing all this venting to you or venting to whoever it is, their mom or their dad or whoever they venting to, you're noticing that time is going by. So now, what I do with people when they vent to me, I give them a time limit. All my friends know this. You have a time limit. You can vent to me about somebody for 2 months. 3 months max. Come on, this way. 3 months max, you get to vent to me about that. Because after that, you stayed. I'm not gonna let you tap into my energy. And then drain me with how miserable you are. And they don't do this for you, and they'll do that for you, and they'll do this for you. And then I come to the barbecue and y'all both there together. Nah, you figure it out. You figure it out. This way, boy. You figure it out. And then I'm not going to allow you to even tell me that he's wasting your time either. You can't. Morning, J Rabbit. I'm not going to let you tell me that this dude wasting your time and you're sticking around with him. You've been venting about him for 90 days. He's not wasting your time. You're wasting your own time. That's impossible. Like, I don't want single women to think like, yeah, man, he wasted my time. You know, I spent 4 months talking to him and he wasn't calling me back and he wasn't texting me back. That dude wasn't wasting your time. He was speaking to you non-verbally. He's not calling you the way that you want him to call you. He's not speaking your language. If he don't respond to your text, he ain't trying to respond to your text. If he ain't making plans for you, he's not trying to make plans for you. He's not wasting your time. You're wasting your own time because you're already looking at the flags that he ain't going to be able to the kind of dude that you need him to be for you to stay happy. There's no way. I'll give a quick backstory. So when I met my fiance now, the girl they know, we were on the ship. My dog is all up in the woods for whatever reason. I don't know why he up there. Look at him. Why he up there? What? You see him up here? Why is he up there? Come on, boy. When I met her, right, I knew I'm going to address that. Make sure you keep that question, Jess. I'm going to come right back to that. So I met her. There wasn't a lot of black women on the Disney Cruise Line ships. That's not a racist thing. That's just what it was. It was 1,500 crew members. About 35 were black, and of those 35, maybe 5 to 10 were American out of 1,500. So the numbers were really low. So we both stuck out like sore thumbs, right? But when I met her, I was like, man, I gotta find her. Right? It took me like 2 weeks to find her because the ship was so big. We weren't near each other where we lived in our barracks or whatever. But once I got in contact with her, we hung out, and I realized I liked her. I never let up. Like calls, date nights, brunches. Like I never let up. I needed her to understand that my intentions were, that my plans for her were intentional. What I look like, I meet her, I felt the vibe, I liked her, I dug her, And then I meet her, and then I text her when I feel like it. You know, I text her here and there. You know, I might respond when she called. Nah, I'm gonna pick her, hello. And this ain't no simp shit. J Rabbit tell you, I've kicked it. In my bachelor day, I kicked it. But when I felt what I felt for her, I hadn't felt that. So I had to explore what that feeling was. I had to understand it. I'm like, dog, why do I like her so much? I just met her. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of weird to me because it was new. And I've dated girls for a long time that I didn't feel like that for. So I was like, I need to make sure I do what I have to do to make sure that she understands I'm very interested in finding out why I feel like this. And why do I have so much fun with her? Why do I like being around her? So I had to be consistent. So she had no room to wonder what I was thinking or to feel I was wasting her time, because I wasn't wasting her time. I was taking up her time. See that difference? See, y'all be trying to get somebody to take up your time that wants to waste your time. So at that point, they're really not wasting your time. They're just doing their normal. You're wasting your own time by allowing them around so long. You let them stay around. You let dude come to your house, kick it, come out, take you to brunch, put you in this Instagram video, and then you we grown. You know, you might go home and smash or whatever. And then when he vanishes, you're like, man, he wasted my time. No, he didn't. He did his normal. He did his normal routine. You didn't weigh him out. You had to coach this dude on how to date you. Hey, man, you got to take me on this many dates. Hey, man, we need to go out this many times. No, I don't want you to come to my house. No, I want to come to your house. Well, if you don't like that, I don't want you to come to my house, then, well, you don't like me. Boom. He's either going to stick around until he earns the opportunity to come to your house, or he's going to vanish. And if he vanishes, great. And here's another thing I want to leave before I answer this question that Jess has. I see your question, Jess. Here's another thing I like to tell people. People like, Rod, they watch me. Everybody knows I'm transparent, but I went through divorce back in 2013. How did I bounce back so quickly? It wasn't a quick bounce back. It wasn't quick as people think. It was the energy y'all seen off me that seemed like I bounced back. I was hurt. I was hurt as shit. But I did things that black people don't like to do. First thing I did, I went to counseling. Second thing, I kept it off social media. Third thing, I didn't respond to anything that she did to me online. She tried to be subliminal and do messages that would get my attention, these things that nature or whatever. I never even told nobody our story, why we broke up. And it was her fault. I never even told nobody except for my close personal circle. And I mean, I kept that within like five to six people. Come on, this way. Because I didn't want to keep expressing the energy it took for me to get to the point where I was ready to get a divorce. So I kept it to myself. That's how I controlled my energy. I wasn't walking around here bleeding. And when I say bleeding, for those of y'all that know what that means, when people are hurt, they bleed their situation. They bleed what's going on with them. You ever seen somebody that was depressed? Oh, my job. Oh, my husband. Oh, my wife. They're just bleeding. They're bleeding. And they don't even realize. They don't realize every time they talk to you, they're talking about the same exact topic over and 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 over. That's called bleeding. They're bleeding that scenario onto you and your energy. Every time you talk to them, it's always the same conversation. I didn't allow myself to do that. I blocked that type of energy. Then I got myself together. And then I started dating the way that I wanted to. I went out here. I started dating the way that I wanted to. Telling women the truth. Hey, I don't want nothing right now. I'm just chilling. I'm kicking it. I'm being a bachelor. If you have a problem with that, I completely understand. And I remember dudes like, man, you tripping for saying that. I'm like, nah, actually, I'm actually more successful for what I want with these type of relationships than y'all are. Y'all are the ones out here chasing these girls down. I'm like, I ain't have to do all that. I was being real. Because some women be wanting the same thing. Sometimes the dudes be trying to be schemish and get from women be wanting the same exact thing. I met a lot of women when I was in my little bachelor phase that was like, I don't want nothing either. Happened all the time. But here's a different scenario to look at on breakups. Versus looking at it like a time waster. Or somebody wasted your time. They took up your time. They took up too much time. They took up too much time. Oh, my life is over. My relationship just ended. I look at both as a blessing. If you're in a relationship and you're happy and you're getting the things that you want, that is an awesome blessing. But then if your relationship ends because the person is trash or they're not what you needed or they don't communicate what you want to communicate, guess what? That's a blessing as well. Because now they can get out the way so you can find the person that you're supposed to be with. See, we got to stop looking at these breakups like the end all be all. Now you got the opportunity to go be with the person that you're supposed to be with, the person you're supposed to be matched up with. If you're with the person that's wrong, like my ex from 2013 was completely the wrong person. I've had flings better than her, and I was with her for 3.5 years. Flings, women that were better people matched for me. I'm not saying nobody's better than nobody, but they were better for my personality. They were better for my communication pattern. They were better for my lifestyle. They were better for the way that I move. They was better for the way that I travel and the way that I work. More secure, stronger, more motivational. They can help me when I'm down. There were different things that I needed that I didn't realize I needed because I had the wrong person blocking the way. I was just assuming what marriage was like from watching Lifetime movies or watching the people in my family or watching others. You know, I remember I was in this church group when I was married. And all the men, yeah, man, this marriage, man, it's tough. It's awful, man. Yeah, you know what you gotta do, because that's what God wants. Like, nigga, is that what? Dudes are the worst committee ever to be on the committee to tell you about what marriage is. I got some homeboys around me that love their wives. Ladies that are listening to me right now. I got some homeboys around me, my age, younger than 40, that love the hell out their wives. Don't get caught up in this social media shit these rappers are doing and these athletes are doing. And it's some men out here that love their wives. I got a homeboy been married since we were 23. We're the same age. Don't fold. Never separated. Never talked about separating. Never said nothing negative about his wife to me. Never treated her bad. Never did nothing behind her back. He's come to stay with me for a week because his job was in town. We did stuff when we went out as men. We went to bars, watched games, went to Dave and Buster's, shot basketball. We went to the gym. We did normal shit. Every dude ain't thirst trapping like that. Every dude ain't into thirst traps. They can't wait. Every dude ain't out here like can't wait till they get away. All right, so it's a question. All right, so what about the ones who lie and dress it up and make it good and then find out you're wasting your time at the end? Okay, so back to that, Jess, your question right there. I call that sheep's clothing question. So it's this thing I learned when I was in counseling. It said this is why you have to give yourself time frames when you're dealing with people in relationships, whether it's new or old. You need time frames. And this goes for people that have been in relationships for a while as well. You need these time frames because a wolf can only wear sheep's clothing so long. A wolf is going to always be a wolf. They're always going to show you a tail sign. They're always going to show you something. People don't just jump and be insane. Well, except, you know, sometimes some crazy women, the ones that be on like Snap, you know, those kind of jump and kind of go insane a little bit. But even with that, just give it time. Like I see people that go on dates, 2 or 3 dates with one guy, and they be love on top. Oh man, he's the most romantic guy ever. Oh, he's so sweet. Oh, he's so considerate. Oh, he paid for the bill. Oh, he pulled my chair out. All that shit is easy. Paying the bill is easy. Planning a date is easy. To be sweet for 3 dates is easy. I always tell people that meet somebody new, holler at me after y'all been on about 15 to 30 dates. And people are like, well, that's a whole bunch. They might not be around that long. Good. That means they didn't make it. You get excited when there's months of consistency. Not no 1 month fling, 2 month fling, or somebody you meet right before Christmas time and then, you know, it's cute. See, this is another thing, man. Sometimes your surroundings can make your scenario cuter than it really is. I'll give you an example. Like you meet somebody right before Christmas, right? You meet somebody around about late October, early November. Now y'all hanging out. Everywhere y'all go, there's these beautiful Christmas lights up. There's these beautiful Christmas holiday drinks available. You know, you walk around Atlantic Station, you're holding hands and the lights are up and, you know, all the cute music is playing. That's a cute scenario, but it's not real. What are y'all doing when y'all not around all that stuff? Right? Don't get caught up in the atmosphere of where you are. It's just like when people meet in Vegas or they meet in Miami. You know, they meet Los Angeles, Venice Beach. They meet these like, you know, beachy places. And you meet somebody, and you're by yourself, they're by yourself. Y'all hang out, y'all having drinks, y'all out in your bathing suits, and it feels like the most natural thing ever. Okay, but then you gotta take them away from that beach and go to where y'all from, and see how that goes, and see if it feels the same. 3 weeks? 3 weeks is no time, J Rabbit. That ain't no time. I've had flings for 3 weeks, and I mean, can you feel something in 3 weeks? Yeah. But then but the thing is, you got to think about your time and your relationships like you think about your money. All right, you made it 3 weeks. Can you make it 6? It's just like when you made your first $100. You want to figure out how to make 200. You want to figure out how to make 500. Then you want to figure out how to make 1,000. Then you want to figure out how to make 2,000, 10, 20, then so on. You want to keep figuring out how to compound your money. 3 months listen, if he sticks around for 90 days, he's trying something. And in 3 months, you should be able to see the red flags. You should be able to see his weaknesses, his strengths. But let me say this to both of y'all. They also need to be able to see your weaknesses and your strengths. They got to be able to see both. Make sure you're being completely genuine. Make sure you're being completely transparent. Make sure you're being completely honest and showing him the type of person that you are. I tell people all the time when they get in these new relationships, let's just say people that make it past the 3 month mark. I'm going to use specifically because that's what y'all talking about right now. People that make it past the 3 month mark. and they're like, yeah, man, I'm really feeling this, and this is going great, and she's perfect, bro. She's so cool, or he's perfect. He's so cool. I'd be like, hey, let me ask y'all 3 questions. First thing, have you met their friends? Why is this important? Because you need to see the kind of people they're around when y'all not good. That's important. People don't think about that. Why I need to know their friends? You need to know because that's who they're going to be talking to. You need to know who they hang around because you need to know who their go-to person is when y'all not doing well, when y'all beefing, right? Number 2 is, have you seen them upset? This is men and women. You need to know both. You need to see them upset because you need to see how they handle pressure. When they get upset, do they shut down, stop talking? Do they want to stop communicating? Do they stop flirting? Do they stop acting like they love you or like you real hard after 90 days? I don't know how y'all love pattern. I'm not going to judge nobody's pattern on how quick they love. But you need to see who they hang. You need to see their friends because you need to see who they're around because that's who they're going to talk to when y'all not speaking. And don't give me that crap like, I'm always going to speak. You're going to get upset at some point. And you need to know the kind of people that are in their ear when y'all not good. Second thing, you need to see them upset. You need to see how they handle it. You need to see if they get upset, if the person that's going to run out the house and disappear for a couple of days, or they the person going to say, hey, babe, let's sit down, let's talk about this. That's yes, it is. It's major. You need to see if they the person, hey, man, sit down, let's talk about this right quick. I tell you what's crazy, how weird it can be for men that like to communicate. Like me, I'm a communicator, as y'all can tell from me doing these lives. I'm sorry I haven't been doing this as much as I used to. My schedule got out of control for June, which was a blessing, but it did get out of control. So my girl right now, she was so used to dating dudes that didn't communicate that I got on her nerves in the beginning for communicating. I need you to hear that. That's what happened with women sometimes. It got on her nerves in the beginning because I wasn't going to let just like strife have us just like dismantled. She was prepared for us to have our upsetting moments and then both of us just be quiet. I was like, hey, I ain't built like that. I'm a solutions guy. So let's sit down. Let's figure out what just went wrong in this conversation and let's get to the bottom of it. So it don't happen again. So I need to understand how did this statement make you feel, and I'll make you understand how your statements made me feel. And that way, if we come to another scenario that's like this, we can figure out how to get past it. So it won't even take this much energy. Now imagine that for the first year. Now she dating a dude that would just get before me that would just get quiet and shut down and cut off, which a lot of y'all deal with that, men and women. You have women that would just get quiet on your ass and disappear, and you got men that get quiet on your ass and disappear. So you need to know these type of things because if you date somebody that's gonna get quiet or that's a runner, that's how your relationship gonna be. They're gonna run all the time. Now, it's funny, man. Here we are, some years later, headed towards marriage, and I remember the last little, I think, bad moment we had. I went to the front to finish my food. I had some food I had got. She didn't know it. I had something in the microwave, and she got mad about something, whatever. And I went to the front to get my food out of the microwave, and she followed me. She's like, where you going? We're not done talking about this. And I remember us looking at each other, and we both bust out laughing. Because I was like, look at her trying to make sure that we finish the conversation. Because we've coached each other on what we need. She knows I don't need quietness. She knows I want to get to the solution. And she knows she had to get used to that I am the type that's going to want to communicate these things. Right? And the third thing, it's very important that people always overlook. People get jealous about this. They get insecure about this. I don't know why. Because it's very important to know these things. You need to understand the patterns of their last relationship. Yep, I know some of y'all like, what? You need to understand the patterns of their last relationship. Because, whether they say it or not, some of those patterns are going to come into your relationship because of the last person. That's why they tell when you marry somebody, you're not just marrying them, you're marrying them and their past. You need to understand how they moved. What led to it? What was that breaking point? You know, what happened with this last person that triggered them in certain ways. And this is for men and women. I never talk just to one side. Ladies, you dating a guy, you need to figure out how he broke up the last girl. What ended it? What led to it? Men, you dating a new woman, you need to figure out what happened with the last guy. What ended it? What led to it? Who they feel was at fault? Did they learn anything? What did they take from that situation and bring it to the next situation? What did they learn from the last situation that they don't want to see again? What cycles do they not want to repeat? So you need to know these 3 things. I'm going to repeat them again. You need to know who they hang around, because that's who they're going to talk to when y'all are down. Number 2, you need to see them upset, because you need to see how they handle pressure, because there's always going to be pressure with your relationship. I don't care how cute people look on their Facebook pictures. I don't care how cute engagement photos look. I don't care how good these birthday posts be. All those my king, my queen, the milk of my cereal ass posts these people be putting on Facebook. I don't care how none of that shit is. You need to see them upset. Right? And then number 3, you need to see how their last relationship ended. You need to know. You need to know those 3 things. And not that you're trying to be in their business, but it is your business, because that's what you're about to deal with the backfire of. And I know people are like, oh, that's behind me. You know, a lot of women, they get on here, and a lot of men, oh, I ain't worried. Everybody's been affected by a previous relationship, one way or the other. Whether they learned something, whether it's something they didn't want to experience again, whether it's something they didn't want to repeat. This way, Flash. Like I took from my ex back in 2013. She was not a communicator at all. She was a shutdown type, right? So I knew after that I couldn't deal with another shutdown type. Like, nah, I don't need nobody to just get quiet on me for no week or 2 because you're upset. I dated a girl that would get upset, and even if it was her fault, what we were going through, she'd be mad for 2 to 3 weeks. And we lived together, G. Someone said, my girl had to understand I'm a sex symbol. So if she cheated, should I leave, bro? Bro, yes. You stupid. You dumb. You've been a dick. But yeah. So yeah, I'm going to wrap it up right there, man. If y'all have any questions before I get up out of here, Jazz, anybody, let me know. And y'all know, man, I'm going to start back doing these. I'm sorry to those y'all that used to come here faithfully when we had like a nice little crowd. I stopped, man. My schedule got way, way out of control. And I started being tired. So I started getting out here just in time to walk, Flash, and then get back in the house. And then get on my day. Like even now. Oh, yeah. And those y'all on here, I will be hosting a small pregame show outside the Hawks Stadium today at 6. So if y'all rooting for the Hawks tonight, pull up. I'll be out there. Let's show some love. Let's take some pictures. Let's kick it. I'll be at the Hawks Stadium at 6 o'clock tonight. All right. Jess says, same. I would shut down and not talk to avoid talking. The dating pool has pee in it. All right. So, all right, Jess. I'm glad you said that. So this is a moment right here. Right? All right. So you would shut down to not talk, to avoid talking. All right. So let me tell you the flaw with people that shut down. And this is not me picking on you, but I'm just going after your statement. The flaw of shutting down is you'll never learn how to get past another scenario like this. See, relationships are continuous. Oh, he would shut down on you. Okay, but even with that, don't allow that. You can't allow somebody to shut down on you because y'all never going to learn how to get past the next scenario. Whatever happens in a relationship is going to keep coming up because these are your personality traits. Like me, I'm very direct and very straightforward, right? Whereas my girl can be a little more sensitive. So I had to scale back, but still to be myself. And I had to allow her to be sensitive. We had to allow each other to be the ways that we are. But then even in that, we started learning each other's ways. And then it starts meshing because we were communicating constantly. Okay, what made you feel like that's this way? Well, why do you say this like this? Or well, why do you respond like that? You know, it becomes all these little tedious questions that you have to ask. But if you're dating somebody, and I think you said your longest, how long did you date this guy? I always wanted to talk, but he made me feel like I was nagging. All right, Jess, he made you feel like he was nagging because he didn't want to talk to you. That's his personality trait. Now, if that didn't make you comfortable, and that didn't make you feel like you can move forward, you got to make a tough decision. Now, here's where everybody gets hard. They get mad when I'm very direct. Everything about your relationship is not hard. It's actually simple. We just make the simplistic stuff harder than it needs to be. Now, what I mean when I say that, I tell people, you dating somebody that makes you unhappy, you should leave. It's that simple. You date somebody that hurts your feelings all the time, you should leave. It's that simple. You date somebody that shuts down on you and they never want to communicate with you. They're never going to communicate with you. So you got 2 options. You can leave or you can marry somebody that never communicates with you, and then you can do that for 50 years. Right? My girl don't flirt enough. Well, she better start. She's got to start. If you don't flirt with your man, somebody else will. Fellas, if you don't flirt with your woman, somebody else will. Ladies, and another thing that's got to stop. This has got to stop. Stop cutting off the box. Y'all know what I mean when I say the box. It's Sunday morning, I'm outside. You gotta stop shutting down the box when you get upset. You shut down the box, there's always another box open. Same thing with fellas. I hear some fellas doing it. Some fellas shutting down the pipe. And they don't want to give it to the ladies when they upset. You shut down the pipe, she gonna find some more pipe. Stop feeling like you're so special that they won't find somebody else. And I know you're like, well, you're supposed to do the right thing. Yes, we're all supposed to do the right thing. So, all right, here we go. So I got a couple of questions in here. So let me get back to it. Hold on, wait. I'm doing one at a time. It says, I always wanted to talk, but he made me say on that. Church Locking, I'm actually working on that really soon, G. I'm working on it really. I appreciate that. Sage words. I see you, lady. Lady Bond, I think that says. All right, so Jessica Rabbit. She says, do you think guys get turned off by finding out why your last relationship ended? In my experience, no matter what I say, they think I'm lying because someone who looks like me could never be single. So now I just say a generic, it didn't work out. All right. And then, okay, so let's go with J Rabbit's post. She like, do I think it's bad? I'm sorry. Do you think guys get turned off? Yes, insecure guys get turned off. Insecure guys get turned off by hearing your past. Some dudes are so egotistical, they can't even stomach that you was with somebody before them. But we all pushing 40, so we've all been with somebody. Most of us, the average person loses their virginity about 18. Some younger, some older. And life goes on. That's the end of that. I'm tired of people like that. And see, that goes back to my same three things. Who they're around, see them upset, what happened in their last relationship. You need to know. Because that's how you're going to handle. That's how you're going to handle you when things get rough. I don't understand how people don't want to hear that. I was at a group talk talking about some relationship stuff the other night, and I was telling somebody. I mean, the women were in shock. It was more women than men. And it's like, yeah, niggas don't be want to hear what you did before them, and they be nervous, they be getting insecure. I said, let me tell you something about me. I want to know everything you did. Tell me. I enjoy it because I've done a lot. I've kicked it. I've traveled, and I'm grown. I've lived. I mean, I treat relationships the same with the way people treat traveling. You're traveled. Some of you have a lot of relationship experience. Some of you have a lot of sexual experience. Some of you have a lot of dating experience. Bring that to the table. It might help. It might help. There's no way my girl can tell me, like, yeah, man, one time, me and my college boyfriend, we took a trip to the mountains and, and it was cute and romantic. Why would that make me jealous? That's something you did before me. I broke up my last dude because this, and this. I'm like, damn, that's terrible. I hate that you went through that. How'd you respond? How did you respond to that breakup? How long did it take you to move on? How much time did you take to yourself? When last time I communicated? You need to know these things, because that's another thing. A lot of times in Atlanta, when y'all date somebody, they still be talking to their ex. That's another thing it's got to be put out there. It happens all the time, myself included. I've done it. I've stayed friends with exes while I was moving on to the next person. It's not always the best decision, but I've done it. But I have been honest about it. I've talked about it. I've said it out loud. Like, yeah, me and my ex, we still talk sometimes. This, that, and the third. Now, at that point, I'm not saying that's correct, and that's the way to do things. Now, it's good to have it out transparent while y'all knew, and she's going to tell you her timeline. Well, that's not going to be cool if we go any farther. Oh, that's absolutely fine. I'm not tied to them. If I was tied to them, I'd still be with them. I was just telling you, in this time period of me being single, that my ex still calls me sometimes. I still call her sometimes. We still link up sometimes, whatever. If, man, you get to the point where we're at a point where we're getting exclusive or we're headed towards a relationship, then if that makes you uncomfortable, I'll cut her off. The same thing I would want you to do in reverse. Everything with relationships is simple, but we make it difficult. All right, so we got another question here. Somebody said, my love language is touch, and she hates to be touched. What should I do? Oh, man, now that's hilarious. I've actually seen that in a real scenario. I know you bullshitting, but I've seen that where a man's relationship love language was physical touch, and his wife didn't like being touched. That's a problem, because after a while, you're only going to be able to accept that for so long. So if she never gets to touch you, then you're going to want to go out and get touched. You're pushing your partner away. They're telling you something so simple, like, listen, man, lay on me on the couch. Sit in my lap sometimes when we out at the park. Hey, man, like, smack me on the ass while I'm cooking sometimes. Put your arms around me when you come in the house. Give me a hug and tell me how your day is going. Hey, man, hold my hand while we driving on this road trip. Yo, let's sit next to each other on the beach. Like, little bitty things that you may not be used to doing. And sometimes, what's funny? I hope I don't hurt anybody's feelings when I say this. Let me tell you something funny about women or men that say they don't like to be touched. Well, I don't know about me. I'm just going to speak for women. A lot of times women don't like to be touched because of something that happened previous to you. It's something that happened previous to you that they probably can be healed from if they just open up. But they just like, don't touch me, don't touch me, don't touch me. Then now your dude out here untouched. He's lacking in his love language, and now he's out here like roaming. You're sending him. You're treating him like a stray dog. Imagine if your love language was physical touch, and your dude was like, I don't want you touching me. I don't want to touch you. Let's just get together and have sex when we have sex, and don't touch me any other time. Imagine how difficult that would be. That's insane. All right, here we go. We got another question in here. Jess, what else you got? Let's see. Why would a guy say you are perfect with the exception of weight? Whoa. Okay, first thing, that's disrespectful. Okay. If he thinks you're perfect, he thinks you're perfect. Everybody's going to have some type of thing with weight. See, this is the thing with our generation. We're so caught up in looks now, in aesthetics. Calm down, relax. We're so caught up in looks and physicality. Let me tell you something. You date somebody long enough, you move in with them, you're going to gain weight. Period. Unless y'all just gym rats. Somebody's going to gain weight. Somebody's going to get skinnier. But there's more than that, too. Sometimes it's not as simple as going to the gym. Sometimes people have fibroid problems. Sometimes people get sick where they take medicine that swells them up. Sometimes people hurt their knees. People hurt their feet. Things can happen. Somebody can have a car wreck. You got to get over this physical thing. You got to be able to love the person inside. Where if the physical is not doing it for you at the moment, you got to be able to have something else to pull from. You got to have something else to pull from. And if he said something like that, it was very superficial of him to say that. You're perfect outside of your weight. That was very disrespectful for him to say that, Lady Bond, so you should move on past that. I hope that's not a husband I'm speaking of, but even if, let's just say it is your husband or your boyfriend or whatever. Is he perfect? Is he shredded? Does he look like The Rock? If not, tell him to shut the hell up. All right, so Jess says, yeah, you have to communicate why you don't like being touched. Yes, that's very important. You have to communicate that because you can't just up and do it. So I know a couple where the woman didn't like being touched by the husband. And her reasoning is, it was very simplistic too. It was weird. She dated a dude before him that she tried to like hug him and be affectionate in public. Like they were in the mall or something. And he like shoved her away. Like, no, don't do that. And from that moment on, she didn't like being touched. She felt like she could have that same hurt she felt that particular day. I guess her friends were there. Now, mind you, she's married now, been married 20 years. But this thing that happened to her happened while she had just graduated from college. And she's still carrying it into her now relationship, which goes back to those three things I told you. That's why you need to know how that last thing ended. Because you're going to bite the bullet on some of that friendly fire. So it's good to know these things so you know how to handle a person. Now she's sitting here with her husband 20 years and don't like being touched. I mean, I'm sure she's better now. They're better now. But I remember we talked about this like some years ago. But he didn't even know. Like, that's why she didn't like being touched. He thought it was him. Oh, maybe she's not attracted to me. But she got to be attracted to you because she's around you all the time. Y'all have sex. You know, y'all kiss here and there. She just don't like you laying on her. Don't like you putting your feet on her. Don't like holding hands. Don't like hugging. Which is a fucking nightmare if your love language is physical touch. You're going to lose your mind. I dated a woman whose love language was not physical touch. And it was a whole nightmare out here. That's another thing. Those love languages are important. You need to talk about those things too. All right, so what we got here? Thank you. It's not a husband. I stopped being with him. You did the right thing, Lady Bond. Don't be with nobody that's going to talk about your weight. It was too long before he said he would commit. Thank you. You confirmed things for me. Thank you. So I am going to start back doing these in the morning. They become my morning walks with Flash. I do them every morning between 7:45 a.m. and 8:30 a.m. I try to do it every morning, Monday through Thursday. But I am going to start a podcast. I'll talk about some of this stuff more in depth. And y'all pull on in, man. And I appreciate y'all for like tuning in with me. You know, no question is dumb. Bring it in. And I always like to do this disclaimer. I'm not claiming to be a relationship coach. I am not a therapist. I am not a counselor like I play on YouTube. I'm just a dude that was raised by my grandparents. They gave me a lot of advice. Went through a terrible divorce back in 2013. And I went to counseling for a year. And I learned a lot from this guy, Pastor Billups out of Montgomery, Alabama, man. He taught me a lot of things that I kept with me forever. I mean, like, I had a journal of notes that he gave me while I was trying to heal. And then while I was healing, I did the right things. I stayed single. I kicked it. I partied. I went to happy hours. I went to festivals solo and met people and traveled the world. I kicked it. Somebody said one more question. I'm sorry. Where's the question? Thank you. Okay. So here we go. I'm sorry. I missed this question. I'm sorry. So even if a guy goes in with the wrong intentions is my energy vibe not enough to make him reconsider not playing with me? That happened my last go round. It didn't work out because of him, but I wonder why I wasn't enough to make him stay. Okay, I'm glad you asked that question right there. So, there's no such thing as being enough for somebody. You either fit with somebody or you don't. I hate to hear a woman, it makes my ears bleed to hear, like, I don't think I was enough for him. It's not about being enough. Sometimes you just don't fit with somebody. Period. All right, so let me give you a dramatic scenario. One of my last relationships ended because she didn't like that I traveled a lot. That didn't make me a bad person. It didn't make her a bad person. I just was gone a lot, and she did not like that, and that's okay, and that's fair. I don't have a problem with her to this day. She doesn't speak to me no more, and that's fine. You know, it's cool. But I didn't have no problem with her. I get it. I was gone a lot. I had a lot of contracts when I met this woman. I was like, I took a contract that had me gone for 3 months. I took another one that had me gone for 4 months. I took one that had me gone for like over a year. Like, I was out of here all the time, and I really got caught up in it. And I don't think I was able to give her the attention that she needed for the type of relationship that she wanted. So she verbalized it to me. And she told me, like, yo, man, you know, you kind of missing a lot. Maybe we need to take some time. And I said, that's perfectly cool. That didn't make neither one of us bad. It was communicated. She needed somebody that could be around a little bit more than me. And that was fair. And I received it because it was fair. That wasn't about me not being enough for her. It wasn't about her not being enough for me. It was like, okay, I get it. I understand your point. Sometimes you just don't fit. It's not about being enough. It's never about being enough. Because even when somebody's enough, they're going to drive your ass crazy. I tell people all the time, the reason I even started doing these lives in the morning, because I tell people all the time, 2 people come from 2 sets of parents who also come from another 2 sets of parents. And you got all that installed into one person. Y'all going to have some differences of opinion. Y'all going to disagree about a lot. Y'all got to deal with each other on good days, bad days, sick days, heartbreak days. I mean, just think about it. You know how much stuff is going to happen when you're with somebody for years? Parents die, family fights, arguments. Their love language might change. Their sexual appetite might change. Their body might change. You know, things happen. Hey, one of my fillings fell out the other day. I gotta go to the dentist to get my filling fixed. Like, that could have been a tooth that would have fell out. Like, I know it's a dramatic example, but like, these things happen. I hope y'all still there. So that's it for today, man. I think my phone is about to die on y'all. So I hope y'all enjoyed this today, and I'll catch y'all the next time, man.